Some people say that Larry Silverstein, the leaseholder of the World Trade Center, actually admitted to demolishing Building 7. They point to a PBS special on the rebuilding efforts in New York, which ran a year after the attacks.
I remember getting a call from the fire department commander telling me that they were not sure they were going to be able to contain the fire. I said, we've had such terrible loss of life. Maybe the smartest thing to do is pull it. And they made that decision to pull, and then we watched the building collapse.
It took another year before someone put that quote together with one later in the same program.
Oh, we're getting ready to pull Building 6.
We have to be very careful how we demolish Building 6.
So pull seems to be slang for controlled demolition using explosives in the demolition industry, right? Not so. Brent Blanchard from ImplosionWorld.com has worked his entire life in the industry, and he's never heard of it, nor has any blast team he's ever worked with. But he has heard the term used when cables are used to actually pull over a building, which is what happened with Building 6 in that PBS special. Most conspiracy sites won't show the rest of this clip, but here's an audio file that continues the special's narration.
Well, we've got the cables attached in 4 different locations going up. They'll be pulling the building to the north. It's not every day you try to pull down an 8-story building with cables.
So what did Silverstein mean by his statement? Did Silverstein have the firefighters use cables to drag down Building 7? Of course not. Obviously, he meant the same thing by using the word pull both times he used it. And fortunately, we know exactly the fire department official that Silverstein was talking to. Daniel Nigro, the FDNY Chief of Operations. Did he have anything to say that sounds like Silverstein's statement? As a matter of fact, he did, in an interview preserved by the New York Times. The most important operational decision to be made that afternoon was the collapse had damaged 7 World Trade Center. It had very heavy fires on many floors, and I ordered the evacuation of an area sufficient around to protect our members. So we had to give up some rescue operations that were going on at the time and back the people away far enough so that if 7 World Trade did collapse, we wouldn't lose any more people. Approximately an hour and a half after that order was given, at 5:30 in the afternoon, 7 World Trade Center collapsed completely. Later, Nigro was interviewed for Firehouse magazine, where he said this: I issued the orders to pull back the firefighters and define the collapse zone. It was a critical decision. We could not lose any more firefighters. It took a lot of time to pull everyone out, given the emotionalism of the day, communications difficulties, and the collapse terrain. So why would Silverstein say it if he was talking about firefighters? Because he was talking about a contingent of firefighters. His spokesperson confirmed this on September 9, 2005. The commander had told Silverstein that there were several firefighters working to contain the fire. He said the most important thing was to protect the safety of those firefighters, and withdrawing them from the area would be understandable in his view. So Nigro and the other chiefs made that decision to pull, and when Building 7 finally came down, a victim of structural damage and fully involved fires, not one first responder lost their lives. After losing 346 first responders in the earlier collapses, Nigro wasn't ready to lose a single person more.